The 360 shows you diverse perspectives on the day's top stories. Allegations of sexual misconduct against Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh were the source of intense debate during his confirmation hearing last year. The issue has resurfaced after a story published in the New York Times that adds detail to an account from Deborah Ramirez, one of Kavanaugh's Yale classmates, who says he exposed himself to her at a party. The story also includes a previously unreported accusation from someone who said he witnessed Kavanaugh's friends push his penis into the hand of a female student during the same period. The Times later revised its story to add the fact that the unnamed woman reportedly doesn't remember the incident. Much of Kavanaugh's confirmation hearing focused on a decades-old assault allegation from Christine Blasey Ford that the Times article's authors said they found credible in their reporting. Kavanaugh denies all of the allegations. The story also includes new claims that the FBI chose not to interview dozens of people who could have corroborated Ramirez's account or follow up when a Democratic senator brought the new accusation to its attention. The claims have reignited tensions over Kavanaugh's seat on the Supreme Court. Several Democratic presidential candidates have called for him to be impeached. President Trump, on the other hand, said Kavanaugh is being assaulted by lies and fake news, and said the Justice Department should come to his rescue. Much of the debate in recent days echoes the one that took place in the lead-up to Kavanaugh's appointment to the court. Republicans have questioned the validity of the allegations and claim they are politically motivated. Many Democrats have reiterated their view that his alleged behavior, and their belief he may have perjured himself during his confirmation hearing, should disqualify him from the court. The information in the New York Times story might not be enough to shift people from these entrenched postures, whether they applaud or scorn Kavanaugh's presence on the court. One of the story's writers lamented the rush to judgment and absence of truly introspective thinking while discussing the response to its publication on Yahoo News' Skullduggery podcast. However, there may be consequences from the Kavanaugh saga being scrutinized in public again. The controversy has resurfaced at a time when the Democrats now control the House of Representatives and are in the midst of a presidential primary. Both of these factors could empower them to keep the issue in the news in a way they may not have been able to before. One element of the new reporting that may lead to substantive action is intensified attention paid to the FBI's investigation into Kavanaugh's behavior before his confirmation. Senator Chris Coons, D.D., said the inquiry was a sham that was hampered by pressure from prominent Republicans. Democratic leadership in the House has thrown cold water on the notion of impeachment proceedings against Kavanaugh, citing the unlikelihood that the Senate would come close to enough votes to remove him. It's possible Democrats could launch their own inquiry into claims against Kavanaugh or whether the FBI's investigation was credible. Regardless, Kavanaugh's confirmation will likely be a major point of debate for the 2020 election, both at the presidential level and in crucial Senate races. It could be a defining issue in the re-election bid of Maine Republican Susan Collins, who is seen as casting a key swing vote in Kavanaugh's favor. From the left, it was Kavanaugh who said in his opening statement to the Judiciary Committee at his 2018 hearing, "The Supreme Court must never be viewed as a partisan institution." But it's impossible not to view the court in exactly that way, thanks to a GOP determined to control it by any means at its disposal. It's why questions about Kavanaugh and the court itself will continue to haunt us. E.J. Dionne Jr., Washington Post. If you think this was a singular event, don't be too sure. If given the chance, Republicans would surely rush through another Supreme Court confirmation. Facts and investigations be damned. Robin A. Bakarian, Los Angeles Times. Democrats could use the scandal as another cudgel against Trump, who has ardently defended Kavanaugh and, in doing so, tied himself to the embattled judge. A congressional investigation into the Kavanaugh confirmation could paint a deeply unflattering portrait of Republicans' conduct in ramming him through to a 50-48 confirmation. Eric Lutz, Vanity Fair. The new allegations about him and the investigation into his conduct have reignited what is arguably the most contentious single political battle of the Trump era. It also was and is a fight worth having, and one that shouldn't be forgotten come election year. Chaz Danner, New York. If presidents, cabinet members, and jurists who lie to Congress are not investigated and impeached when evidence of wrongdoing is revealed, then the system of checks and balances is rendered meaningless. John Nichols, The Nation. The horrifying thing is that we knew enough to know all of this last fall, and then, as now, there was no road to accountability, no way to demand a real investigation, no path to delay the process that would end in a lifetime appointment. Dahlia Lithwick, Slate. Down the middle. No matter how many books get written about Kavanaugh's past, his future is almost certainly on the Supreme Court. Chris D'Eliza, CNN. This term, which opens in October, the court could face high-profile cases involving sex discrimination, abortion rights, and more. The new details likely mean Kavanaugh and the court as a whole will face even more scrutiny as they make decisions that affect Americans' lives. Anna North, Vox. From the right, the hope of the Democratic Party and most of the media is to delegitimize Brett Kavanaugh and hence any Supreme Court decision in which he joins a 5-4 majority. The ground is being laid to make the case that, should Roe v. Wade be overturned in such a manner, that decision would exist under a cloud. Kyle Smith, National Review. It seems quite likely at this point that any Democratic president elected in 2020 would be under significant pressure from the left to, at a minimum, reopen an FBI investigation into Kavanaugh that can be framed as an effort to uncover the truth and ensure the integrity of our institutions. Philip Klein, Washington Examiner. I think we have to worry about what happens if Trump eventually has another appointee, that these kind of attacks are going to continue. Carrie Severino, Fox News. The partisan relitigation of Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation is an embarrassment to the country, but it is useful in putting the 2020 election stakes in sharp relief. The future of the Supreme Court is on the ballot in Senate races as much as in the presidential race. Editorial, Wall Street Journal. Is there a topic you'd like to see covered in the 360? Send your suggestions to the360@yahoonews.com. Is Felicity Huffman's jail sentence fair? Would a 4-day work week be better for everyone? Is vaping a health crisis? Cover thumbnail photo illustration, Yahoo News, photo, AP.